Hi folks, James here once again. A very warm welcome to you all, and this afternoon I shall just give a brief summary of a very pleasant afternoon that I had yesterday with Phil and Pipe Tree. And you may have seen Phil's footage and got a little bit of a taste of us just having a final cuppa before we parted company, and so really didn't film very much. In fact, I filmed nothing. I had what I'm going to term as vlogger's block. I think I took in fact I took a tripod and my big camera, and made sure I had a bit of space on the phone, and once there I just really didn't feel like filming at all, and it was quite busy, and we went into some very sort of compact shops and antique centres that were not particularly spacious, so I'm afraid no actual footage, but I will endeavour to just give you an impression of what we got up to, and whereabouts we were. So we were in fact at in a nice little town called Olney, which is on the Buckinghamshire, in Buckinghamshire, and this is quite a historical little town, and the main sort of thing that it's kind of famous for is it was the home to William Cowper, which is actually spelt C-O-W-P-E-R, which I actually always thought was pronounced Cowper, but I stand corrected through a little bit of research. So yes, it was the home of William Cowper, and he was a fairly famous English poet and hymnist and letter writer, and he kind of was in partnership with John Newton, who was basically in charge of the parish church, and together they collaborated on a book which was called the Olney Hymns, and that came out in about 1779, referring to my details. But most famously, in this book, collaboratively they came up with the hymn Amazing Grace, which I'm sure many of you will be familiar with, and apparently this has had over 3,000 incarnations and types of recording. It is a record breaker. So yes, a nice little link there, and it as I say, there is a museum there, which is where William Cowper actually resided for quite a number of years. And that it is actually a museum to him and John Newton, as they were quite often spending time together writing and what have you. So yeah, a little bit of history for you. It is, I suppose, a very sort of traditional English town, not very big, and one in which that I have been to on a number of occasions, as far back as when I was at school and we did a field trip, as there is this historical element there. So we, as I say, had a very pleasant afternoon. We raised a glass and we toasted absent friends, and we shared a few bowls. It was a fairly brisk, nice clear day, nice and bright, fairly sunny, but quite blustery. So really, to be outside stationary for any length of time was it got a little bit chilly. So we pressed on, and we did a little bit of hunting in a couple of antique centres, and there's some nice little shops on the main street there. A couple of charity shops, a little peruse to see what we could see. I didn't find anything at all, which is fine. It's just luck of the draw. I think Pipe Tree found. I think he found a matchbox case. I think, and as you've seen probably, Phil found himself one of the nice Wade pottery pipe stands. So yeah, that was quite pleasant. We did see a couple of pipes. There's one very nice one which I'll try and put a picture in here. And this was a nice pipe, but a very old pipe, and hence with a price tag to match. So that one did stay there, but nice to see anyway. We did see a very grandly presented check tool in the same place, which we thought was quite amusing, seeing as it is a very basic tool, and it was in this little sort of gift box, and it was sort of I think it was up for £6. Bear in mind that one can probably pick one up for a lot less than that. It seemed quite grand, and I suspect the seller possibly didn't know what it was really, although it was actually, it did say it was a set of pipe tools. So yes, rather grandly presented. So and apart from that, we saw, I think, a very small meerschaum pipe, a few sort of cigar holders and things like that, some Vesta cases, some snuff boxes, but yeah, all lovely things to see. But so we had a good look around, and as I say, we ended up in a pleasant little cafe for a cuppa, and a snippet of which you could see on Phil's footage there. So and on the day, Pipe Tree was very, very generous and gifted both Phil and I a pipe, and the pipe is what I'm smoking at the moment, and it's this lovely little Orlick, just a lovely size actually for me, with a very pleasant grain. Actually, there is some bird's eye on the bottom there, and it has the markings on the stem there, and yes, it's a delightful little gift, and it's most kind, and this is from the famous Pipe Tree collection. So I feel honoured to have one of his finds, and in fact it did come with a nice little sock with the slogan there, which is a rather nice addition. I'm enjoying some Jermaine's Rich Dark Flake, and it's suited to this very nicely. It draws very nicely, so a lovely little gift. So thank you very much, Tree. That's much appreciated. And so yeah, all in all, a lovely afternoon, and it was great to catch up with two lovely chaps, and yeah, I think a good time was had by all, and we hope to do something again soon, and it's always good to actually have a real life meet-up, and I think, as I say, I would have liked to have done some filming, but I think I have this sort of issue where I find it quite off-putting, and when you're sort of in a situation that you're there to enjoy yourself and take things in, I find it difficult to sort of break off and randomly film, and so not that I'm entirely worried, but as I say, perhaps again another time I might feel I can do some filming, but as of yet I haven't overcome that little worry of mine. So so there we are. I hope to be back on again fairly soon. I have a couple of pipes, I think I said in my last video, that I'd like to share, and I was chatting to Treve and Phil about those, and that is to come soon. So so yeah, I hope everybody is okay and is enjoying their pipes, and is doing what they do. So without further ado, I shall say keep the cameras rolling, keep the pipes puffing. We'll see you again soon. Cheerio.